Good evening, council, members of the staff, public. How are you guys doing tonight? So I'm up here, believe it or not to talk about the tax issue per se, but instead I'm going to talk about something else. So one of the beautiful things about this country is we have the First Amendment. We're allowed to share our opinions with little retribution. We're allowed to give insight as to what we think about something, and we're allowed to debate. We're allowed to disagree. We can agree to disagree on many things. Councilman Johnson and I have done that numerous times. I think most of you and I have done that numerous times because, in my opinion, I'm always right. But that's okay. That's part of the way debate works, is whether I agree with you or whether I disagree with you, I'm allowed to say my opinion. You're allowed to say yours. Every one of you is. So when it comes down to stifling the First Amendment, I have an issue with that. The United States has a constitution, and everywhere in the United States follows that constitution, or should. We have people in this room who have served in the military. Your father served in the military. You've served in the military. There's countless people I've noticed in here that serve in the military who have defended that constitution, and friends of theirs have lost their lives defending it. Tonight, you have something in the resolution that you have to pass for the sales tax measure, which that's a different topic. But there's a section in there, section 4, and I'm going to read it. The City Council hereby repeals any prior action taken by the City Council pursuant to Elections Code, section 9285, or other applicable law to authorize the filing of rebuttal arguments. The last line of that paragraph, rebuttal arguments are not authorized for the March 3rd, 2020 election. Interesting. When we as a board or as a council, and I say we, but you guys, not all of you, but some of you, put on the election back in November of 18, some of you were elected during that election, the idea was to eliminate the city clerk and the city treasurer. City council allowed, obviously, ballot statements, and they allowed rebuttal ballot statements. That is the way the ballot book has always been. You go through any of the West Covina ballot books, and they've always allowed a rebuttal argument. But it's ironic that on a sales tax issue that the city council was mute on, completely non-committal of anything, now wants to stifle both sides, and I'm fighting for both. I actually want them to put a rebuttal as much as the opposition. So I want the proponents and the opponents to put rebuttals and have that authority. I'm not arguing for one side or the other. It should be fair both sides. But you guys are going to stop the rebuttal process. So the questions come to me. Are we doing this for money? Because one of the things we talked about was there is no amount of money that should stop democracy. Ballots should happen, elections should happen. For the most part, I agree. On districts, I thought the same thing. Okay, whether we got there or didn't get there, I still think it should have went to the ballot. But now what you're saying is we're not going to have rebuttal. Is it money? Or is it the city attorney who decided to put it in the resolution? I don't know. I don't think he's got any reason to do it specifically, unless he's asked. But I don't know. So I think we should ask, why is it in this resolution? So I'm here today to go and basically ask you guys as a board whether you agree or disagree with the tax. All of us have our opinion. I get it. Do we really need to not have a rebuttal argument in a ballot? I don't care what other cities may have done. If other cities have taken the rebuttal arguments off, doesn't affect my city. I'm kind of tired of, well, in this city, West Covina should be more like this city. No, West Covina should be West Covina. That's who we are. And if we've always had rebuttals, why are we removing it now? Why? Allow the rebuttal to happen. I'm very curious the reason behind it. And again, I'm not pointing out the city attorney to be malicious, but I know he writes the resolution for the most part. It has to be legal. So, sorry. But I would like you guys to take that out. We have people in this audience who fought for it. We have a Purple Heart recipient, right? Purple Heart, wounded, fighting for our Constitution. And I'm sorry, it just blows my mind that we want to stifle the First Amendment in this city. I just don't get it. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.